I want to show you a video here, and I want to get your reaction because I learned a lot about, the military, cops, cartel, who's got more power. This is a video of El Chapo's son getting arrested. You've seen this before when he's coming in, a woman comes out. But I want to get your reaction from it and just kind of see what you're saying about this when you see this. Let me pull this up. Here we go. Okay.
So that's a federal police unit from Mexico. They're doing recording on their camera helmet cams, and that video feed is actually going live into Mexico somewhere. That usually runs some of these operations remotely as well. That is not the people that you would take to arrest a high value target like El Chapo's son.
That is not who you would take, you're saying.
That is not who you would take.
So why are they there?
Because they completely found this guy by surprise, and they are just basically on a patrol. They decide to raid this house that apparently had people armed in there, and they find this high value target in the form of El Chapo's son. You can see them behind. You can see him hand something to a man behind him in a bit.
Yep, the man behind him right there. Yep.
He hands something. What he hands off is a gun.
Got it.
Probably a gun that he hands out behind, which is, again, if somebody has a gun on them, he's going to get shot. You see all the rifles they're carrying?
Yep.
No optics on them? These guys are patrol guys. They're not the guys that you would send for an operation like this. They don't have any equipment. They don't have suppressors on their guns. They don't have any optics. So they're not a top tier group that you would send after somebody like this.
But how come they're not afraid? How come they're not being, fearful? They're not afraid. They seem pretty confident. They're pushing around. They're not.
If it was me there, everybody would be zip tied on the ground. But they're taking very special precautions to not treat anybody badly. They're very, very specific precautions to not hurt anybody. And that is all indications of fear. And they know exactly what they're in for if anybody finds out what they're doing. And of course, everybody found out what they were doing. That's why they had the whole Sinaloa cartel surround the city to rescue them.
So what happened after this? What happened after this while we're watching this?
You would never allow somebody like that to have a phone and keep calling somebody on the phone.
Got it.
Right.
So from your perspective, it shows that they're so respectful of them that they're letting them make a phone call versus you and your division. You would have him on the ground and his hands would be handcuffed and tied up.
Anybody that went through the training that I had, and a lot of the training was from U.S. sourced, would have everybody on the ground, and we would have a very superior force there if we were going after somebody like that. It's interesting to see that they took all these precautions and all this. They let him have all this leeway, and that is because they knew exactly what they were in for. When it comes to having somebody of that high nature that you just found, you're kind of hands off. That means that it's complete surprise. So there was no planning, there was no operation to get him. It was pure luck that they found this individual there. They get orders to send him to a secure location in a federal building in Sinaloa and Culiacan, the capital. And that's when the whole of the Sinaloa cartel criminal organization arms up every single male member of their organization in the region. And they start driving and pumping in from all sorts of places, far and wide. A massive congregation of armed men and armored vehicles, 50 caliber, support technicals, basically, as they call them, tied to the back of trucks, anti-aircraft capabilities active across the city to avoid any sort of incursion by military forces via helicopter to try and extract El Chapo's son. And they surrounded the barracks where the family members of the military would stay in the state, basically taking them hostages. And there's a bunch of videos out there. I posted up some on my Instagram account when it happened, of the cartels basically surrounding military forces and then having them shake hands in agreement that they were not going to move on anybody. You saw this massive event and they let him go. And the president came out and said they let him go to avoid further bloodshed. But most of the people involved in that I talked to said that they let him go because they got the order from the people there to let him go. Right.
When you say they got the order from the people to let him go, who are the people to let him go? Government or El Chapo's people?
The government people there did not want to give up their lives for
Got it.
individuals. So.